So this is the second video to 2.2, addition property of equality, call it 2.2b. And we're continuing on, we're in example 6. And it says if we have 7.3 plus x, and we're going to say that that equals negative 2.4. What that means is, in order to find out what x is, we have to first of all get rid of the 7.3. Well, the symbol in front of 7.3 is positive, so that means in order to get rid of it, we subtract it. And we subtract it from the other side as well. So when we subtract it from here, it goes away, and x equals negative 2.4 minus 7.3, or plus negative 7.3. And when I do the plus negative 7.3, I have the same signs. So when you have the same signs, that means you add the two numbers together. So 2.4 and 7.3 is 9.7. And because they're both negative, our answer will be negative. And we're done. So that's the solution for that problem. All right, so let's jump to example number, 7. Get rid of all this. And example 7 says we have negative x plus 2 plus 2x equals 7 plus 5. Okay, so what we're going to do here first is we're going to combine similar terms or combine like terms. The terms that are like each other. So we have a negative x and a positive 2x. And if you remember, you find like terms by making sure that the variable is the same. So I've got an x here and an x here, and the exponent on the variable is the same. So there isn't an exponent on the variable, so obviously they must be the same. So then we take the difference between those two numbers, because we have a negative and a positive, so our signs are different, so we take the difference between 2 and this really is a 1 here because there's nothing in front of it, so there's an assumed 1. So the difference between 2 and 1 is 1. We put the sign of the biggest number on the answer, which the biggest number is our positive 2. And then we put the x on. And then we have a plus 2. We leave that alone. We're going to add 7 plus 5 and get 12. So I'm going to erase my positive and my 1 there. Don't really need to show either one of those because those are assumed to be there when it's just an x. And in order to find x, it's what you call isolating the x, or isolating the variable, getting it on one side of the equal sign by itself, and we get 10 for our answer. Let's go ahead and do example number 8. And number 8 gives us a little bit more to work with. We have 4 times 2a minus 3 minus 7a equals 2 minus 5. Alright, so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to distribute that 4 to both of these numbers inside of here. And when we do that, we get rid of our parentheses. So I have 4 times 2 is 8, and then the a tags along. 4 times 3 is 12, and this negative sign is that one right there. Minus 7a equals, and I'm going to make, let's see, 2 minus 5. You can either do 2 minus 5 and get negative 3, or do 2 plus negative 5. Take the difference between the two and put the sign of the biggest one on there. And you still get negative 3. Alright, so the left-hand side, we have an 8a and a minus 7a. So those are like terms, so we're going to combine those. So 8 minus 7 is 1a. And we still have our minus 12 here. And now we have to get rid of the minus 12. We're just trying to get rid of everything except the a. So we add 12 to both sides, and I get a equals negative 3 plus 12. Negative 3 plus 12. Signs are different. We take the difference between the two numbers, 9 and 3, or 12 and 3, and we get 9. And the sign of the biggest one is the 12, and that's a positive, so we got a positive 9 for our answer. All right, we're going to do one more, and that would be example number 9. And example number 9 is giving us 3x minus 5 equals 2x plus 7. Okay, so the only thing that's a little bit different here is we have x values on both sides of the equal sign. Well, we need to move one of those x values to the other side so they're both on the same side. So I can either move this 3 over here or this 2 over here. Now usually most people are used to having the x values over here. So let's move this 2 over. So we move it over just like we move any other number. We subtract 2x from this side. We subtract 2x from this side. And when we do that, 3 minus 2 is 1x minus 5. And 2 minus 2 is 0, so that goes away, and we're left with a 7. Now we've got an x, but we also have a negative 5. So to get rid of a negative 5, we add 5 to both sides, and that gets rid of that. And we have x equals 12. And that is it for section or lesson 2.2. Next video is going to look at the problem set.